The Russian President Vladimir Putin has marked Victory Day by blaming Western nations for the war in Ukraine. Here's the latest from our friends at Sky News in the UK.
It is always quite the spectacle. Never a goose step out of place or a beret out of line. But this was a slimmed-down parade. Just 8,000 troops, a lot fewer than last year, and much less military kit. Because what Russia still has, it needs on the battlefield, and not on Red Square. Flanked by veterans, this is a moment the president enjoys. The memory of World War II is the patriotic glue he uses to hold his people together in the face of what he's long described as a marauding and decadent West.
Their goal, and there's nothing new here, to achieve the disintegration and destruction of our country.
There was a time when Western leaders would take part in all of this, but not anymore. This time just leaders from former Soviet republics, invited last minute and not quite prepared to relinquish old alliances. Some more dependent on Russia than others.
And someone who had been keeping a very close eye on that is Vasyl Myroshnychenko, who is Ukraine's ambassador to Australia, and he joins me from Sydney. We're more than a year into this conflict, Vasyl. Putin says the real war has been unleashed against Russia. He's delusional, isn't he?
He is delusional, and he's been delusional for the past 9 years when he invaded Ukraine first time. And also, Ukraine has commemorated all the victims of the Second World War on May 8th, and we've taken a different approach to this. Since 2014, we focus on reconciliation and remembrance of those who died. It's important that Ukrainian contribution is highlighted. Actually, there are more civilians during the Second World War from Ukraine who died, and the estimate is around 10 million people. So the way Russia is using Victory Day is using for propaganda, is for driving their narrative down, and basically this is, and they weaponized actually World War II narrative to a great extent. But we see that was a different parade this year from what we've seen a year before and the year before that.
Vasyl, what's actually happening now on the ground? I mean, obviously, we're headed toward the European summer. We've come out of a cruel winter. It's been dreadful for the people of your country. What are you hearing from back home about what it might be a new, fresh offensive?
Look, we are getting ready for a counteroffensive in Ukraine as land is drying up. Ukraine is building up and getting ready for a counteroffensive. And we're poised to win. We just need our allies fully in. And we are making sure that the assistance which is coming is there on time. And we're getting there for the moment when we can drive Russians out completely to restore our sovereignty.
I know you and your country and your president have been very thankful for what Australia's been able to contribute to your war effort. I note that there was no new money in the federal budget for Ukraine. Does that disappoint you?
We are incredibly grateful to the Australian government for the support provided to date. As you know, the Bushmasters have really performed well. They've become a symbol of the Australian support that Aussie mateship, the Anzac spirit out there. And I'm in constant talks with the Australian government, and we hope that there will be more assistance coming. In fact, I think that the visit of President Biden, which we look forward to, will be an opportunity for two friends and democracies to continue standing with Ukraine for a better world.
What would Ukraine like more of right now? I mean, clearly it's military equipment, but is there anything in specific that Australia could do a little bit extra for you?
Well, the Bendigo-produced Hawkeyes, which are armoured mobile vehicles, would be a great help, especially when they have an integrated missile launcher from NASAMS, which would be a very handy kit to have in the battlefield, and that would provide good air defense, but which could be also applied for different other purposes, such as electronic warfare or command and control. This is something that has been in a discussion recently. But of course, more ammunition, more high-precision guided missiles, Bushmasters, and we would definitely welcome Australia joining a 10 coalition to support Ukraine.
Do Ukrainians still understand that Australians are behind them, are trying to do what we can, and that we feel very much for your country?
Yes, we do feel the support of Australia, for which we are very thankful. And every time there is a contribution for Australia, it's all over the news. People appreciate it, they know it. By the way, yesterday, Ukraine held a big summit, which was dedicated to, it was a core group of countries on the special tribunal to keep Russia accountable for the act of aggression. And I was very pleased that Australia participated. We had a message from the Assistant Foreign Minister, Tim Watts, who participated. And it was very important that Australia is out there with Ukraine.
Ambassador, great to catch up. Good luck, and good luck to Ukraine in their battle against Russia.